Welcome back to another fun-filled show. I'm your host, T.S. Blanchard, aka Free Blanche, aka Blanstradamus, aka Blanchy Kruger. Today's title is Men versus Women, the Battle Against Nature, Part 1. Men versus Women, the Battle Against Nature, Part 1. If we go back to Genesis, we'll see that God created man and woman. But the way the Bible is written in the Genesis is kind of confusing. What actually happened was God created man first, and then he extracted through Adam's rib, he created woman. So man was created from the dust of the earth. And then God breathed life into the mouth of man. Let's go to what the Bible actually says. And so it makes sense of what I'm saying. Here we go. So God, hold on. I'm trying to find it. Here we go. So God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth." Then we go to chapter 2, verse 1 second. Okay, here we go. And the Lord God said, this is chapter 2, verse 18, "It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him an help meet for him." And out of the ground the Lord formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he could call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. So understand that God was looking at Adam as being a helper to not just him, but to the earth. But then Adam didn't have a helper for himself. Okay. Think about what it just said. But for Adam, there was not found an helpmeet for him. In other words, Adam was doing all this stuff, but who was looking after Adam? Nobody. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. So we know How much of it was muted? Okay, you should be able to hear me now. Okay, I don't know how much of it was muted, but you should be able to hear me now. What's up, Mika? What's up, Tierra? So we know that when God created man, he created man from the dust of the ground and he breathed life into man, and man became a living soul. This is why I say that a man has a different relationship between God than a woman does, because a woman was created from a man. A man was literally created from the earth, and literally his life was given to him by the breath of God. The Bible says that Eve was just created from man. It doesn't mention that God breathed the breath of life into Eve. It mentioned that she was created from man. So men and women have a different relationship between God. So a man believes by his nature, not he believes, but a man believes in self-preservation, but also species preservation. That's his nature. That means what a man does most of the time is to preserve himself, to preserve the species. Women do not have that in their nature. A woman's nature is to get what she wants, which is usually one man. But at the same time, she resents the fact that that man is ruling over her. This is a woman's nature. Her nature says, I need to find the best male, forget about the species. A man's nature is, I need to preserve myself to preserve the species. So already from a fundamental level, men and women approach existence very differently. This is why women aren't meant to lead, because women have tunnel vision. Men don't. Men are forced to see the whole picture. Anytime a man gets tunnel vision, it's disastrous. It's disastrous. Okay, I'm glad y'all can hear me. Okay. So men and women have a different nature. So when we talk about a woman, it is believed that women are emotional. And I would agree with that. Women are emotional. At the same time, women are not unaware. So what happens is that we've been told that women are emotional, which means they're unaware and acting haphazardly. That is not the case. Women are very calculated. Women are emotional and extremely calculated. So that means that a woman having an emotional tantrum is not just her losing her mind. She knows exactly what she's doing. Women know exactly what they are doing. They know right from wrong. So this notion that women don't know what's going on is a lie. They know. They know. And you know they know because somehow, some way, they're able to meticulously weave their way in all these situations. But again, men and women have a different relationship with God. Most men, by nature, possess God-like qualities. Men have to go against their nature to not be like God. They have to fight against their nature to not be like God. They have to succumb to what I call lust. This is lust of the flesh, lust of the world, lust of power. This is what a man has to conquer because that's his nature. A woman's nature is chaotic. It's chaotic because she does not want to deal with her nature. That's what causes the chaos. Most men will tell you if they're a dirtbag, they're going to say, I'm a dirtbag. Most men. Most women are not going to be honest. That's their nature. Their nature is to lie and deceive because a woman's nature is more like Satan, which is why Satan went to the woman. And I'm telling you all this stuff right now so that relationships can be saved because both men and women have to conquer their nature. It's just the problem is that no one has a problem talking about a man's nature. We run into the problem when it comes to a woman's nature because a woman, everybody says that you can't understand women. They're too complex. That's a lie. Women are very basic and very simple. Women care about three things. They care about physical appearance, they care about fertility, and they care about the ability to give pleasure. All three of those things are the same thing. Women focus on appearance to attract a mate. They focus on fertility to attract a mate, and they focus on giving pleasure to attract a mate. Women are very simple. Men are also simple, right, in what they want, but men are complex in expression. Men are simple in what they want, but they are complex in expression. So that means most men just want peace, access to sex, food, shelter, something that gives them purpose. And most men are pretty much set after that. How that's expressed is very complex. That can be expressed in a multiple different ways. But women, for the most part, are all the same. Like I mentioned before, you have the 95% of women, 2 to 5% of women, and the 1% of women. Most women are the same. And if a woman tells you that she's a different woman, she's like all the rest of them. Now, what I'm saying right now is going to be considered that I'm bashing women. But in actuality, I'm not bashing women. I'm making everybody aware of a woman's nature so that she can be held accountable to conquer her nature. No different than with a man. A man has to conquer his lust. That means that his intentions have to be righteous. You see, what women do not like is when you bring up intentions. You see, most women cannot sit alone with themselves in a quiet room with no distractions because the truth comes out. And I'm sorry to say that most women are not good people. Most women know when they're alone that when they had a chance to do what was right, they chose to do what was wrong most of the time. Most women know this. So when most women are alone, these things haunt them. So all this chaos that you see women doing, there's a method to the madness. And the method is so that the man doesn't see who she really is, because the woman believes that if he sees who I really am, he's not going to want me. This is why they manipulate so much. Women are very insecure about who they actually are because they don't believe that if they change, it's going to be worth it. So a woman will say, if I do everything the right way, it's not going to work for me. So I got to manipulate. Women don't believe in things like honor, principle, morals, standards. They don't. Women believe in survival. So they're always desperate. And because they're always desperate, Satan always has their ear. Whereas a man has to look at a situation and say, either I'm going to fight it, I'm going to give up. I'm going to try to make something happen or I'm not. That's what a man is faced with every day. It's a simple choice for a man. So if a man wants something out of life, he has to go and get it. If a woman wants something, she can manipulate her way to get it because she has what men want, which is access to sex. And most men fall short because of their lust. Most men that are married today are simps. Most men that are married today are simps. That's a bold statement, right? That's a bold statement, right? Most men that are married today are simps. Blanche, why do you say that? Think about most men today and ask a question. Have most men really gone to God and established who they really are? Have most men then walked in their purpose? Have most men then conquered their lust? Most of you will answer no to all three of those. So if the answer is no to all three of those, then why is that man picking a woman? How is he picking a woman? He's picking her because subconsciously he wants the access to the sex. He wants the constant access to sex. And usually what happens is most women are going to want to sleep with the guy because she wants the leverage. And once a man sleeps with her, he automatically weakens himself because she won. Because she said, I got him to yield to me. And then when they get married, women start doing what? they start rationing out sex. It's the same story. It's the same story over and over again. When the men and women get married, the women start to ration out sex. All these women say, when I'm married, I won't do that to my husband. When I'm married, I'm going to do this. It's all a lie. She's already planning to use that sex as leverage because guess what? That sex, she believes, got her married. The woman doesn't believe that her being a good woman got her to be married. She doesn't believe it was her virtue. She doesn't believe it was her honor. She doesn't believe it was care. You know why? Because deep down inside, she believes she's a bad person. So she doesn't believe you married her because she's a good woman. She believes you married her because of the sex. Again, remember, women focus on appearance, fertility, and ability to give pleasure. All three of those things are the same thing. So in a woman's mind, she believes that deep down inside, this guy only picked me because of the sex. And because she believes that, she's going to torture you when you get married. That's why I say most men that are married are simps. They're broken. Because if a man truly vetted a woman, he would have to risk being alone most of his life. If a man really held women accountable, he would be alone most of his life. I challenge any guy right now that's single, go on your next date and really tell the woman what you expect and see what happens. Really tell the woman what you expect in a relationship and see what happens. You will not get a second date. Or better yet, go on a date, hold a woman to a biblical standard and see what happens. Because most women don't believe they're good because they're not. But a woman can be good. How? By putting some oil in her lamp. By putting some oil in her lamp for the bridegroom. That means that a woman must learn to value what a man values, because what a man values is what God values. What a man values is what God values. So women, they know they have put zero stock into what men value. So that means most women have to manipulate to get married, and most men have to simp to get married. Most wives are manipulators. Most husbands are simps. Because if men held women accountable during the dating phase, they would be single most of the time. And if most women held to a biblical standard of what a wife should be, she would be single most of the time. Do you see what I'm saying, people? If both men and women held to a godly standard, they would be single most of the time. And then now dating becomes what it actually was meant to do. We're setting a date for marriage. The reason why all this is so clouded is because the man nor the woman are walking in a biblical standard. I will tell any man that you are going to have to chastise the woman. And most women are going to reject it. Most men are simps. They are. They're going to acquiesce to what the woman wants to do because he wants access to vagina. This is why it's so good and important for men to spend time alone and to spend time with God so that he can conquer that part of his life. So that when a woman is cutting up, because the first phase is to not allow yourself to be compromised by sex. That's the first phase. The second phase is to conquer your nature, because a part of your nature as a man is not just for you to have a lust for power, for sex, for money, whatever, but it's also your yearning and longing to try to preserve and fix everything when some things should be destroyed. You see, a man by his nature, he is going to want to make the woman happy. By nature, he's going to want to fix the relationship. This is why most relationships end because of women. I don't care if it's a relationship or divorce, even dating. Most relationships end because of women. Most relationships fail because of women. And I say that because if the man was really a man in the beginning, they wouldn't even been in a relationship. it is in a man's nature to want to preserve what he's invested his time in. I'm telling men today that as a man, you cannot do that. If a woman does not want to heed your instructions, then you have to let her go. Let somebody else deal with it. Somebody will deal, let her torture somebody else. Because I saw myself trying to fix, trying to save, trying to preserve, trying to say, well, maybe if she sees this, and I pray for this, and I pray, and I did this, and guess what? It only got worse. The more I tried, the worse it got. But the moment I started working on myself, the relationship ended. The more I tried, the relationship got worse and lingered on. But the moment I started working on myself, the relationship ended immediately. So I'm telling a man that you have to understand that you are not meant to be a woman's emotional support. You are not meant to heal her wounds. You are not meant to deal with her chaos. You are not meant to listen to her manipulation. You are not meant for that. You are meant to lead. And if you are succumbing to what a woman wants, you are not going to be able to lead. So you must set the standard. And if she does not adhere to your standard, then guess what? She got to go. Men have to learn to walk away. Kevin Samuel said it. Men have to learn to walk away, because when the woman leaves, you're going to be left, because your nature is going to say, what did I do wrong? Where did I fall short? And I'm telling you now, men, you didn't do anything wrong. What you did wrong was start a relationship with her in the first place. That's what you did wrong. If you had to set your standard up front, she probably wouldn't even been there. There is no way for you to fix a woman. If she does not come to you ready to be led and ready to learn, then she is not going to be the one for you, because you're not going to be able to fix her. I'm just telling you now. I don't care how much you love her. I don't care how much. It doesn't matter. If she doesn't come to you with oil in her lamp, it's a wrap. See, most men go out there, and because we're filled with lust, and because we want to get, and again, no man has ever been tricked by a woman. No man has ever been tricked by a woman. He's just told himself that he could fix her. He was never tricked. There's no man walking around that was ever tricked by a woman. He just believed that he could fix her, and he can't. A woman has to spend time with God. She has to put oil in her lamp. Most men go out there and they go and find the woman with no oil in her lamp. Now ask yourselves a question. How can a man find a woman in the dark? If she doesn't have her lamp lit, how did he find her? Imagine a man looking for a woman, but he can't see anything. How did he find her? There is no strategy because you can't see. There was no plan because you can't see. So you're literally telling me you're running around, bumping into women, hoping you got the right one. Bumping and fumbling, falling over women, hoping you got the right one. This is how most men pick a wife today. Most men are simps. Most women are manipulators. These women are not sitting back saying, I'm going to become a wife before I get married. They just want to get married. These women aren't saying, I'm going to improve myself and be a better woman before I get married. They're not saying that. These women go from relationships to relationships to relationships. Imagine a woman that's had 4 relationships and never took any breaks in between to work on herself. Relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. That means in that 4th relationship, she has baggage from those 3 relationships and then her own baggage. And the fourth guy has no idea what he's getting into, which is why she picked him, because he didn't know. Let me show you all something. Let me show y'all something real quick. And listen, men are to love women. It is a part of our nature. Men are to love women. We are. But we have to love them righteously. We have to love them righteously. I'm going to try to find this clip. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you this clip. Tell me what you notice in this clip. Tell me what you notice in this clip. As a man, before I get into this clip, as a man, you must learn to love the woman righteously. That means you cannot reward bad behavior. That means you cannot reward bad behavior. So that means as a man, if she does not want to follow your leadership, you have to let her go. Because her nature is going to destroy both of you all. Remember, men by nature seek to preserve the species. Women by nature seek to preserve hypergamy. She only cares about getting the man that she desires. That's it. She don't care about the rest of the world. So fundamentally, men and women have two totally different outlooks on life, which is why men sacrifice more, which is why men have bigger hearts, which is why men can love better than women, which is why men have all of the attributes that you would want in a woman. Now, a woman can get these attributes, but she has to work hard to get them. She has to go against her nature to get them. Let's continue.
I have a beautiful house, warm, cozy, and yet this is where my husband is. I'm sorry, what?
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
You know, I'm playing one more time. Listen to her. Listen.
Can somebody tell me why I have a beautiful house, warm, cozy, and yet this is where my husband is? I'm sorry, what?
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
Anybody knows what she said? Anybody knows what she said? That's right, Stan. But anybody knows what she said, though, that stood out to you? What she said that stood out? What did she say that stood out? She said, I have a beautiful home. Thank you, Neek. She said, my house. You see, women can't hide any of this stuff. You just got to stay sober enough sober long enough to hear. Women always tell on themselves. Women always tell on themselves. It's a safety mechanism that God put in them. Women always tell on themselves. They can't help it. That's why as a man, just sit back, listen, be patient. They're gonna tell you everything. This woman said, my house, as if the man isn't part owner of the house. Now, if you notice in that garage, the man was in there in the garage, watching TV in the garage on a fold-out chair, but who was in the garage with him? Who was in the garage with him? The dogs. As much as women love on these dogs, why would both dogs and the guy be in the man cave? One dog is on his lap, one dog is on its bed, and they in there chilling. Why would those two dogs want to sit in the garage with that man and they don't even watch TV? Because it's peace. I keep telling you all that dogs are not women's best friend. Women don't get pets because of companionship. Women get pets to fill a void. Women don't get pets for companionship. Women get pets to fill a void. And if you get with a woman that has a pet, you are going to come after the pet. I tell women all the time that a self-respecting man is not going to date you if you have dogs, all those pets. He's not going to do it because he knows he's not going to come first. A man knows that if you have pets, he's not going to come first. Nowadays, women have tattoos and they have pets. I'll play it again. Nowadays, women have tattoos and pets. So that means they're coming with multiple spirits. Each tattoo has a spirit, and you got to deal with the pets coming before you. Most women are not meant to be wives. They're just not. Because what it takes to be a wife, you got to tell the world no. You got to tell Satan no. You got to tell your friends no. You got to tell your family no. What it takes to be a wife is for you to tell everybody else no and tell God and the man yes. That makes you a wife. And most women can't do it. That's why I said 95%, 2 to 5%, and that 1%. I'll play it again.
Can somebody tell me why I have a beautiful house, warm, cozy, and yet this is where my husband is? Can somebody tell me why I have a beautiful house, warm, cozy, and yet this is where my husband is?
I'm going to pause it right here. So you know it's cold in the garage, right? How do we know it's cold in the garage? Because of the space heater behind him. So the garage is cold, and the dogs and him would rather be in a cold garage and be at peace than be in a warm house with the woman. But the way she said my house tells you everything. And again, my boy said it yesterday. My boy said he's in that garage contemplating how he made a bad decision. You see, most men realize in a relationship when they get married, when they made a bad decision. Most men realize it. And they think, okay, if I treat her as best as possible, she's going to change. she's going to get worse. Most men know they married the wrong woman. Most men know this. But they believe in their mind, if I do what's right, she'll eventually come around. She's not going to come around. She's not going to come around. She's only going to get worse. Because you got with her through your lust. She got with you through manipulation. Both y'all in the wrong. I'm going to tell you like this. As a man, you should be willing to marry a woman that you can never sleep with. That's how you know that's your wife. If you can marry a woman and say, I ain't even got to sleep with her, I still want to marry her, that's your wife. And as a woman, if you can say, I am willing to forsake everything for this man, that's your husband. That's your husband. I'm trying to save relationships. But in order for them to be saved, men have to know the truth. Men have to know the woman's nature so that he can lead properly, so that he can vet her properly. The number one thing I will tell any man is that whatever a woman does, she's doing it on purpose. Once you understand that, you will look at things totally differently. Once you understand that a woman is doing this all on purpose, you will understand everything. A woman is doing all of this. She's putting this whole circus up because she doesn't want you to see that she doesn't add any value. Because deep down inside, the woman knows she does not add any value because she does not value what you value. She knows this. So any woman listening right now, you can add value to a man starting tomorrow. Just value what the man values. So if the man values peace, then you should value peace. If the man values order, then you should value order. If the man values structure, you should value structure. The funny thing is, everything a woman needs to be chaotic and emotional, a man has to provide it. A man has to provide an environment for her to be chaotic and foolish and emotional. He has to provide the environment for it. If women behaved irrationally in the free world, they would never get picked as by a man. They would never keep a job. Think about it. Think about if women did not have a controlled environment to be chaotic. You know, they end up homeless, talking to themselves. So as a man, you have to stand firm on your principles, which means you have to establish your identity. You have to know who you are. If you know who you are, you can't be moved off your center. But if you don't know, you're going to be moved. Warrior's Dream said, real talk, as a woman, acclimate your behavior and your nature to an honorable, godly man. Amen. But you got to spend time with God to do it. You got to spend time with God to do it. Let's continue.
I'm sorry, what?
She knows what? She knows what? She's lying. She knows good and well why that man is in the garage. Now, at first, she might just say he just wants to watch the game. But the fact that both dogs are in there tells her everything. The fact you don't hear any children running around, hollering and playing, because they have children. So you don't hear any children You don't hear the dogs. You don't hear him. The whole house is peaceful and quiet, and look what she's doing. I keep telling you all because women know they're not good people. So when it's quiet, that means the children are in their room because they want peace. The dad is in the man cave with the dogs because they want peace. Everybody in the house wants peace. She's the only one walking through the house with a camera, open up these doors, bothering people. You know why? Because when she sits alone, she knows in her life she's chosen to do what was wrong more than she chose to do what was right. And she knows she's not a good person. Most women know this. Women have to learn to put oil in their lamp. They have to learn to be good people because life isn't going to force them to do it. Society gives women all kinds of concessions to be horrible people. If a woman cheats, or the man drove her to it. If a woman is crying and you're sitting next to her and somebody walks in the room, they're going to say, man, what'd you do? Women always get benefit of the doubt, even though there's no benefit in doubt. There's only benefit in faith. So there's nothing in life forcing women to become better women except time. Time is the equalizer for women because that clock is ticking. And when she looks in that mirror and sees them wrinkles, sees that body dropping, she starts to panic. You know why? Because she's only put stock in her appearance, her fertility, and ability to give pleasure. Once she gets older, attraction, appearance, gone. Ability to fertility, gone. Now she's left with what? Ability to give pleasure. This is why most women that are single that are older, they lose. They're whoremongers. You find any woman that's older and single, she's a whoremonger. Because all she can offer a man is sex. Or unless she's going to pay a younger man. But let's continue. I know I'm the bad guy. I know I'm the bad guy. Say hello to the bad guy. This is the last time you're going to see a bad guy like this, I guarantee.
Good job, my brother. We rocking with you.
I have a question for the men. I just saw a video that said a man doesn't look at another man and judge him by his house, his money, his car. No, men judge other men by their wives. And if you have a hot wife, you've won in another man's eyes, whatever. Is that true? Do men actually think that way? Like, I genuinely want to know.
No, young lady, no. I'm going to contextualize that. Men judge another man by how good his wife is. Men judge other men on how good their wife is. Her looking good is not going to be enough because she can look good and be horrible, be high maintenance and be too much. And she ain't worth 2 cent Mexican money. Men judge men by how good their wife is. Does he have a good woman? And when I mean good woman, that means that when he's not around, she's still a good woman. That means that she treats other people good. Not even women, they faking being good. They're not really good women. Let's continue.
Question for the men. Why do men no longer approach women in public? I feel like back in the day, it was so common for men to go up to women and, either strike up a nice little convo or ask them out, but that doesn't seem to be happening anymore. I don't know. So yeah, what's up with that?
The reason why men are not approaching women is because men know that they don't have to. If a woman likes you, she will do all of the work. You see, the problem is that men have evolved and gotten smarter, women haven't. And the reason why they have it is because women only concern themselves with three things: appearance, fertility, and ability to give pleasure. Women have not evolved. Now women are starting trying to have these talking points that are conservative or trad wife talking points, but it's still false because you listen to them long enough, they feminists. Most conservative women are feminists still. Because to truly be a conservative woman, you got to be a God-fearing woman. And to truly be God-fearing, you got to put the man first. You got to put the man first. To truly be a God-fearing woman, to truly be a wife, you got to put the man first. You got to put the man first.
I have a question for the men, specifically men who date older women. Okay, like a younger man, and you're interested in an older woman. What is the reason why you would rather date somebody that is older than you and not somebody younger than you or your age? Let me know in the comments below.
Now, she's playing with her hair.
Can somebody tell me why
Okay, like a younger man, and
Now, what she's
you're
asking
interested
is manipulation. Because what she's thinking about is, how will I be able to attract them? Because this is what she's thinking about. Now, this is women now. She's thinking, I might marry a guy. We get married, I'll probably divorce him. Get half. So when I'm older, how will I be able to attract younger men? That's why she's posting this video. She's saying to her, and this is women, man. A woman will get married. She's already planning her exit. You don't believe, I'm not saying she's going to leave. I'm saying her exit is planned. Y'all can't fathom this, how women think. Women are very strategic. They're very manipulative. So she's making this video asking, how will I be able to attract younger men when I'm older? So I need you men to tell me so that I can manipulate y'all with being that. I'm just telling y'all. None of these questions being asked are good faith questions. So this woman wants to know, why are men approaching? What can I do to make men approach me? Manipulation. Because you don't plan on changing anything. You just plan on being able to attract the man. That's manipulation. Because if it's not manipulation, you would say, you know what? If a man desires a virtuous woman, then I'm going to be virtuous. Not that I'm going to appear virtuous. Let's continue.
in an older woman. What is the reason why?
See her playing with her hair? Again, her goal is to see, will I be able to attract a man when I'm older and divorced with children?
You would rather date somebody that is older than you and not somebody younger than you or your age?
Because I know I can't compete with these younger women, so I need to find a way to manipulate men to date me.
Let me know in the comments below.
Okay, if you're a guy and you're watching this, stop scrolling for a second because I have a question for you. I really want to know, what is it that a guy looks for in a woman? And I'm not talking about like superficial stuff like, oh, it's because she's so hot. No. I'm talking about something with a little meat on it, okay? Something with some substance, like it's the way she makes you feel, or it's the way she shows up for you when things get hard, or it's because you love how family oriented she is, something like that. Because I am so daggone curious. I want to know.
Again, more manipulation. Does she look like she cares about that stuff? Does she look like she cares about that stuff? She got her breasts out. She got lip injections. Do you think she cares about that? Absolutely not. Again, it's manipulation. These women are trying to find ways to attract men because it's harder to get men these days because men know more, especially men of means. They know more. A part of the marriage rate declining is the fact that men know more. So all this, it's not going to work. Women are giving it up like they always been. So the man is like, Why am I going to marry you when I can get all this for free? Multiple women. Because y'all don't really care. You care about attention, care about hypergamy, but you don't care about commitment. You would be surprised about how many women would share a man if he was rich. Your most devout Christian women, your most conservative women, you would be surprised how many women would share a man of means. If I had $100 million, do you think I'd have a problem having Christian conservative women, multiple on my team? Honestly, if I had $100 million, do you think I'd have a problem with having Christian conservative women on my team, multiple, and they all knew? No. So this young lady right here with her breasts out and her lip injections, she don't care about that stuff. She cares about attention. She just wants to know, how can I get more attention? Give me the talking points. So when I'm talking to you, I can say, well, I'm real family oriented. I care about family. I care about the word. I love the Lord. It's all manipulation. Let's continue.
So comment down below and help a girl out, please.
I'm sure men will help these women out with answers, but I want to answer the first one. We all know the answer, and she knows it too. She didn't say we have a beautiful home. She said I have a beautiful home, and that tells you everything. He didn't just leave the house, he escaped it. When a man chooses the garage for peace, the house isn't the problem, ma'am.
Do men think about their wedding the way that women do?
No, in the day that women realize that men don't think about many things the same way that women do, you will be a lot less stressed and understand men so much more. Women.
He doesn't understand. He thinks that women think that. Women know that men think differently. Women are looking at it, how can I manipulate more? Pay attention to what I'm telling you. They're not asking these questions and playing dumb because they're dumb and don't know. They're asking to have a better way to manipulate. So if I know that the market is shifting and men are looking for more traditional women, men are going overseas, men want more conservative women. If that what men are looking, so women have to adopt a whole different way of attracting men. The talking points have to change. All that I am the table, I'm a boss chick, we equal, I can do it to make that stuff ain't gonna work no more. So because it's not going to work anymore, women need to know we need a new playbook. What can I say to a man that gets him interested? Oh, I know. I want to be a trad wife. I want to be a stay-at-home wife. Listen, fellas. A woman working from home is your decision. A woman working from home is your decision. So if a woman comes to you and says, I want to be a housewife, that's a red flag. What do you know about being a housewife, ma'am? What about you as wifely now, ma'am? A woman telling you that she wants to be a housewife is a red flag. Why? Because the decision for her being a housewife is yours. So the fact that she even coming to you saying she want to be a housewife already lets you know it's manipulation. She ain't worked on herself. She ain't became no wife, but she want to be a house. You know why? She want to be taken care of. You see, men assume that hypergamy means the woman picked the better man. It doesn't mean she picked the better man. She picked the guy easier to manipulate. Trust me. There's no way a woman can level up without leveling up herself. It's impossible. She can only attain that guy through manipulation. So in other words, it's impossible to get better if you're not better. You have to be better to get better. So she ain't getting better. She manipulating more, that's all. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Know if I've really had an intimate relationship with a man in my entire life. I dated men of means. So I started flying by PJ and staying in, wonderful hotels and incredible suites and traveling the world. And I've literally had a guy, it wasn't even a first date. It literally was a first hang, spend $100,000 on me. I've had somebody else present me with like $150,000 necklace.
And they ain't giving that shit away for free, dog. It's just a high-priced hoe. A high-priced hoe. This is the narrative of what is perpetuated, especially on social media. This right here is poisoning women. This is going to ruin their damn future, where they're all going to end up looking like this, dog. Old, lonely, no man, no kids, have to rely on their community of women and have to cope and lie to themselves, saying how happy they are when they ain't fucking happy at all. As a woman, no moment of true intimacy, that's rough.
It just rings so hollow, because then you'll see those same guys do that for other girls.
Boom, bruh, jackpot, dog.
It's just men's with means that's nothing to them, So it's not intimacy. It's not even because they really like you. It's just very transactional.
Remember what I told you, that if you sit back and you're patient, a woman will tell you everything. You don't have to probe. You don't have to poke. If you just sit back and listen to her, she is going to tell you everything. I met Melissa Ford one time. Melissa Ford is very pleasant, very well-spoken, very attractive, very feminine. She has great qualities as a woman. So the average guy, he is going to want to spend time with her. She is enjoyable to be around. I met her for like 10 minutes. She's enjoyable to be around. But the problem is she doesn't have any self-worth. So what's enjoyable about her is for all the guys that got money, all the guys of means. Listen to what she says. Listen to her.
I don't know if I've really had an intimate relationship with a man in my entire life. I dated men of means. So
and she's saying this because she's never been honest with the guy. Because intimacy works both ways. Intimacy is you open up, I open up. We both delve into each other. That's intimacy. So that means if she's never had any real intimacy, that means she's only had surface level relationships. Why? Because she was good looking with a phenomenal body, and that was her leverage. And then, you know what she did? She didn't preserve herself. Every guy that had money had access to her. Therefore, your value is diminished. Listen, ladies, if multiple men have access to you, you don't have any value to a man that has value. And when I say a man that has value, the man that you need, not the man that you want. The man that you need is the valuable man. The man that you need is not going to deal with you. Listen to what she says.
Started flying by PJ and staying in, wonderful hotels and incredible suites and traveling the world. And I've literally had a guy, it wasn't even a first date. It literally was a first hang, spend $100,000 on me. I've had somebody else present me with like $150,000 necklace.
And they ain't giving that shit away for free, dog. It's just a high-priced hoe.
And he's exactly right. He's exactly right. Prostitution, See, Melissa Ford just told you our whole life story. Was it complex? Was it deep? Was it wonderful? Think about the narrative that you're fed about women, how they're so complex, how you can't understand them. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, how they're all of these things. But when Melissa Ford, famous woman, top echelon of women, the story is very simple, very basic, and very sad. Like Mr. Nice said, no real intimacy your entire life with a man. I keep telling you all that the devil will always give you what you want, but he will never let you enjoy it. The devil gave Melissa Ford access to all these rich men, and she walked away from the game childless and alone. The devil will always give you what you want, but you will never be able to enjoy it. Now, there's been plenty of guys that, like Melissa Ford, that were good guys. And what she do to them. You see, how a woman leaves a relationship is who she is. How a woman leaves a relationship is who she is. What did she do to the guys that didn't have any means? What did she do to the guy that she knew was the best choice for her, but she chose somebody with the bag instead? The devil will always give you what you want, but she will never let you enjoy it. No, I think you're thinking about the video vixen, Kareen Steffens. I think you're talking about her. I don't know if Melissa Ford wrote a book. Maybe she did. I don't know. But again, I want to talk about, this is part one, man's nature versus a woman's nature. And a man must learn who he is from God. Once he establishes identity, then he walks in his purpose. Once he's in his purpose, then he can find a wife. As a woman, her top priority needs to be preservation. How does a woman preserve herself? Because her value is in her preservation. A woman's value is in her preservation. How does a woman preserve herself? By spending her time with God, not the world. A woman's going to have to learn to tell the world no, tell her friends no, tell her family no, tell social media no, tell her feelings no, tell her nature no, and spend time with God and put some oil in her lamp. Melissa Ford is yet another cautionary tale for you women. Then she said that the men of means did that for all the women. See, what women don't want to face the fact is that the only thing that's going to separate you from the rest of the women, the only thing, ladies, that will separate you from the pack is your relationship with God. Because a truly God-fearing man that knows who he is and is in his purpose, he's not going to pick you. You're going to have to change yourself to meet his standards. The God-fearing man truly is not going to change for you. You got to change for him. This concludes part one. Thank you, Anthony Lebrakiak, for these super stickers. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. But I will be back next week. Yes, I do have a Cash App. My Cash App, I will put it up. Thank you so much for asking. Everything helps. I do have a Cash App, yes. $ Free Blanche. But listen, there is a silver lining There's a silver lining at the end of this. And the silver lining is that as a man, you can become the man that God wants you to be today. And as a woman, you can become the woman that God wants you to be today. It's just a simple choice. And it requires you both to submit to God. But as a man, you know that all of this is going to rest on your shoulders. So you don't have a choice of doing this. You have to do it. A man doesn't have a choice, because if men drop the ball, and the ball has been dropping, if men drop the ball, society's finished. If women drop the ball, a man will just come and save the day. But if men drop the ball, it's over. So men, I want to challenge you all to be who God wants you to be. And I want to challenge you women to be who God wants you to be. I love y'all, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.